Hi everybody, I'm Ollie Hines, aka Diamond Eyes from metalunderground.com, and I'm really happy indeed to say we're here with Erik Rutan.
How you doing, man?
I'm very good. How's yourself?
I'm great.
So, obviously you guys wouldn't have been here, but Erik just put on the heaviest show I've ever seen in my fucking life. It was incredible.
It was a great show. Man, London, you know, I was just saying previously, like, London's like a home away from home for me, you know. And I feel, you know, I grew up in Jersey, New York area, and I live in Florida. But London, you know, being on Earache for so many years with Morbid Angel and Hate Eternal, playing London for so many years, 20 plus years. It's always one of my favorite places to play, and you know, I always expect London to be one of the best, and it always is. It never disappoints me. And so I always know in my head, like, I'm never going to disappoint them.
That's great to hear. Yeah. A lot of people kind of shrug London off. They think, you know, because it's a major city and bands come through all the time, the crowds kind of get spoiled and don't react so much. So,
man, I never got that feeling, but yeah, I just got off stage like 5 minutes ago, so I'm just like, I was just so happy. Yeah, buzzing. Yeah, that's the word, man. I just always, man, when I see London, it's just a special place for me, man. I love playing London, and I love being here in England. It's awesome.
So obviously you're touring with Vader, who've just gone on stage.
Yep.
How did that come about?
Well, we've been trying to plan a European tour for a while because we haven't been here in a while. You know, I've been producing a lot in the studio and did some American tours, and we did Asia and South America and Southeast Asia. And, we're just waiting for the right package. And Vader, I mean, I love Vader. I've toured with Vader over 20 years now. I've done tours with him with Morbid Angel, Hate Eternal, and I just felt like, man, this will be perfect. Made support for Vader. How do you need that? And sure enough, it has. It's been awesome. You know, I mean, I've known Peter for a long time, and I have so much respect for him and Vader. And I just felt like it's the right package, you know.
Now, I met Peter for the first time I heard it. It was lovely, lovely. Which not the words you want to hear for a death metal icon.
No, but he is. He's an awesome guy and a great band, and I have a tremendous amount of respect for him.
So, not only are you out on tour, but you're promoting a new album, Infernus, which I remember. How's their reception to that been going?
It's been great, man. Yeah, I think, you know, Infernus is kind of like an accumulation of everything we've done in our career, and then with new elements, and I feel like the production is the best we've had, and I guess I'm always trying to just expand upon what we've done, and, you know, never repeat, but keep the theme of Hate Eternal, but also advance it and be more expressive, more dynamic, things like that. It's really important to do that. So the response has been perfect, man. I really can't complain about anything with Season Mist did a fantastic job with all the promotion and the packaging and stuff, and very, very proud of it from us.
Good. I'm not surprised. Well, obviously you mentioned the production. I would assume you handled it yourself. And you've really developed a reputation as a producer for the last few years. I think in some ways you're like the successor to Scott Burns. If anyone wants a death metal album done right, they come to you.
Oh, thank you. I mean, I respect Scott Burns a lot, of course. You know, I'm just trying to get better at my craft, and the more records I do, the better I get, the more I learn, and the more I apply to the next one. And I mean, it starts because I'm a fan of the music. I mean, all the music I'm recording I love, and you know, when I come out here to play, I love playing. That's why I'm doing it. You know, like, I do everything because I have a passion for it, and I feel so fortunate that I've had such a prolonged career as a musician, and now I'm extending that by producing and mixing and engineering, and it's all this big circle of just pure passion in music. It's fantastic. And, something I really put a lot of emphasis on is just trying to create unique identities for every band and every record that I do. So some guys have like this token sound, and I feel like my sound is just trying to bring out the band and the best performances I can, and try to capture that moment in time, because every record is forever. So I look at everything that way with that same intensity and seriousness. and you know, it's just very passionate about it. And the more I do it, the more I love it, and the more I love it, the more I want to do it. And it takes a lot of my time. But man, when you get to work with the bands I have, you know, Christian and you know, Cannibal Corpse and Rodor and Nile and Agnostic Front, Madball.
I was going to say, I was looking
just
at the list of
tunes, and I mean, I can just sit here and keep going, and it's just been fantastic, you know, and I can't complain about anything.
Well, like you say, obviously you try to give a unique sound to every record, and I think you do, because it's not what, you're not a producer that I can put in a CD and go, well, that's everything.
No.
I was really surprised when I saw what you've done in the Agnostic Front, My Life, My Way. Which is a great album.
Thanks, man. I love that record, man.
It's great, yeah.
It came out great. It sounds great, you know.
And the same with Empire by Madball.
Yeah.
It's just, I'm listening to it and I'm like, that sounds like Agnostic Front, instead of going, well, that sounds like Erik Rutan. It's great.
That's exactly what I want.
Good, good. So how different is it recording hardcore to say death metal?
Well, the thing is with like recording Agnostic Front, even, and that's different than Madball too. They're very different. There's a lot more emphasis on vocals, you know, of course, you know, gang vocals and you know, layered vocals, and you know, so much of hardcore and punk, you know, is vocal. Where in death metal, vocal for me is kind of another instrument per se. Where like in hardcore, you know, it's like the vocals is the voice of the band in a way. You know, it's so important, the message that they're trying to get across. So it's a different emphasis. You know, it's like, and that's what I loved about working with Madball. I think Agnostic Front is like, it's all about vibe and character and emphasis on
the spirit.
Yeah, you know, and that's what I love about hardcore and punk. You know, it's like that kind of vibe. Like sometimes I've told that to those guys. I say, you know, sometimes I feel like a hardcore kind of punk guy in a metal world, because I have like that more kind of punk hardcore mentality, I guess, you know, like old school kind of dude that like I just care about so much, and I feel like I have a message to portray in what I do. And you know, what I do with Hate Eternal is an expression of who I am and my life, and the trials and tribulations of that life that I've had it's been long and arduous and complicated, sometimes fantastic, sometimes the worst of times, but here I am all these years later at 45, and I'm still doing it, and I always feel so grateful that, you know, I can play London on a Monday night and have hundreds and hundreds of people show me so much respect, and I give it right back, man. You know, it's I never take this stuff for granted, and that's why I keep so humble and balanced. And you know, a lot of guys, they have some success and they tend to lose themselves. If anything, I found myself more by success and being more humble.
I found quite a few people like that.
Yeah.
Like Ashmedai from Marrakesh, he's really nice and humble. Even Peter, you know, he's a great guy. Plenty of others.
Alex Webster from Cannibal Corpse, like if you talk to any of those guys, I mean, they're like, you know, the most humble guys in the world, and you look at how successful they have been. They're some of the nicest guys you ever meet.
Yeah.
I think the people that have true success, and what defines true success? Well, what defines it is what's in your heart.
Yeah.
And if you find that in your heart, then it kind of emanates from who you are.
Yeah.
And I always think to myself, like if somebody's watching me on stage tonight, they know damn well I enjoy the shit out of this. You know, and I'm here, and I'm just like, man, I appreciate this moment so much. I've been doing it for so long. I mean, I've toured Europe, I don't know how many times now. I mean, I've probably played London at least 25 times in my career, probably, and I never lose sight of how fantastic and how awesome it is to be able to fulfill, you know, a childhood dream and do everything I've always wanted to times 1,000, man. I've had such great success in playing music and now producing, being a part of my first band, Ripping Corpse, onto Morbid Angel, onto Hate Eternal, and it's very special.
Absolutely. Well, speaking of death metal throughout the years, obviously being a sought after producer, you've seen a lot of death metal bands, young and old, old so to speak, come in. How have you seen death metal change over the years?
It's funny because like old school death metal bands have kind of stayed old school, and death metal. It's interesting because like when I first started, like before death metal, the term didn't even exist, right? So when I was a teenager, and then it became a term, and now things have like branched out into all these different terminologies: slam metal, deathcore, metalcore, you know, all these different terminologies. So it's kind of interesting. Progressive death metal, you know, blackened death metal. I mean, fuck, I can't even keep track of all the genres.
I was seeing an interview with Jeff Walker from Carcass where he was saying you can't stand all the subgenres. He said, you know, you've got grindcore,
I just like it. I like death metal. I like grindcore. I like, you know, hardcore. I like metal. You know, I like thrash metal, black metal. I like all kinds of anything with metal. It's good to me, you know. But it's definitely expanded. But I think a lot of the older bands have continued to. You know, I use Cannibal Corpse as an example. It's like they just keep going and going with consistency. And I think that's important for bands like us, and Vader, and Cannibal Corpse, and More Angel, and Deicide, and Suffocation, and, you know, to kind of keep the theme of old school going in a more modern way, maybe.
I would say so. I mean, they say a lot of these bands have kept it old school, but they still sound fresh, you know what I mean? You can hear new Suffocation record, Pinnacle of Heaven, the last one, Skeletal Domain by Cannibal Corpse, and they all just blew my mind. Even Empire by Vader is fantastic.
They're keeping the you know, the soul of what, you know, death metal represents to me, and I do the same, but also trying to expand that and not become redundant and old, and you know, you don't want to be like an old stale piece of bread. I mean, you got to be like that fresh roll out of the oven, man. So, you know, but you know, when you start, like when I started playing death metal, it was during the formulation of the genre. So, you know, I don't think much about writing myself. I just kind of go from the gut. And sometimes I'll be like, man, that kind of has like this old school vibe, and I'm always happy. I'm like, cool, or you know, something. Man, this is kind of different. I just believe in music. If you keep true to yourself, the fans they can see that. You know, when you try to like appease a certain audience, or like, man, I'm gonna change for this because this is popular, or if you just keep true to yourself, that's what people loved about what you do. Like, why the people that love what I do, I know you know, over the years I've met so many great people that have said some of the nicest things ever to me, and the reason why they follow my career is because they know I keep true to myself. I keep true to what I represent. And whether it's popular or not, whether it's successful or not, it doesn't matter, because I keep true to my spirit of what I represent in music. And, you know, fans can see that, man. They know that. They feel it. You know, if you try to manipulate or formulate, you know, too much, they see right through it. You know, the listeners of this music, they're so loyal and devout, and they smell bullshit from a mile away, you know. So I always say, well, if I ever wanted to change it up or do something different, I would start another project, but I'll never taint Hate Eternal. Always gonna Hate Eternal, a death metal band. We're an extreme death metal band, and it always will be. And, you know, we may branch out and expand here and be more dynamic in this and that, add new elements and layers, but never lose who we are. And you know, that's why you have the option. You know, I can start 10 other projects if I want to do something kind of different. But I take it personally with Hate Eternal. Like, you know, I mean, next year is 20 years I started the band, so I kind of take it as you know, a personal mission to continue with Hate Eternal. But of course, the day I didn't feel it, which is, you know, I don't know. I think I'll be 70 still writing death metal riffs. But you know, if I didn't feel it, I wouldn't be here. But I do. I love death metal, and I want to continue to preserve the genre for what it is. And I take that on my shoulder. You know, I believe that I'm one of the guys that needs to continue the spirit of death metal. And
see you do, very successful. So it's coming up to 20 years. Here's the next 20 years.
Thank you, man.
Thank you very much for taking the time.
My pleasure, man. Cheers.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.